I'm doing a review for the metal platform fan that I ordered off of Amazon. It's an all metal fan. The cage is metal. However, the blade is aluminum, not metal. It is aluminum, the blade. I think the housing is plastic and the knobs are plastic. The pole is metal and the base is metal, and it does have a weighted screw and base at the bottom. This fan came in about 7 pieces that I had to put together. Had to screw the weight onto the base and then screw the pole. There's a little screw bolt that you come up from the bottom to screw the pole on, and then you attach the motor housing right here into the pole, and it is adjustable. So if you turn the knob back here, turn this knob here, you can raise it up, and it goes up to about there, more or less. Knock it down, or you can leave it operate down in the lower position, which I'll do for the demonstration. I already have a camera set up. Has a knob here to turn on and off the oscillation of it, and then the power knob has 3 speeds for the power. It is quite powerful. I'm going to put it on 1 right now. And it does blow quite an amount of air. I'll get this. That's on 1. I'm going to stop it from oscillating here. So that's on 1. And 2. And 3. So it is quite powerful. You can feel it from a distance. And even on 1, it's quite powerful. You do hear the noise that it makes. In here. You do hear the noise that it makes. Let's bring you around the back here. Like I said, it did come in 7 pieces. You have to take out, there's some bolts in there, some screws in there that you got to take out, and then screw the back housing, back cage on. And then put the blade on with the set screw that's on that blade there. You see it in there? There's a set screw in there that you attach the blade to, and then you clip on the front housing with these little clips here. As far as the base, it was, there's the housing, that this goes into this pole, and then the motor housing goes into this pole, and then you tighten the screw up, and then the pole goes into a weight that's underneath this base that I showed you when I flipped it up. So all in all, it's a pretty good fan. It is a little bit noisy. The only thing I would really take off is for the instructions. They didn't quite match. It said there was a notch on the fan, on that little circle in the fan, and the notch was actually on the post of the motor housing. There was no notch in no D notch in the fan blade itself. The instructions said there was a D notch in the fan blade, but it was actually on the motor housing post that the blade attaches to. And I mean, nowadays instructions are, you get what you get, but they weren't very clear. But in all, the fan works great. It blows a large amount of air, and that's what we got it for. And it wasn't too difficult to figure out how to put it together. So we're going to go ahead and give this 4 stars for that. And thank you for watching. Have a blessed day.
All right, we are checking out the wall fan. These are the operating instructions. This does come with the hardware that you will need. Some tools that you would benefit from to assist your installation would certainly be a Phillips screwdriver, and a drill. So this provides the instructions. As you can see, it's very text heavy. There really aren't a lot of diagrams. There is this diagram here which talks about assembly, but I will say I recommend checking out the video on the program or the product listing. I found that to be very helpful in clarifying some of the directions. And that's it. It gives some cleaning and maintenance for you to check out. It also comes with a remote control. More and more fans are coming with remote controls, which is pretty handy. And I believe I read you can also use an app on your phone. I'm not a big app person, so I'm not going to do that. So let's check out the fan itself. So I've got this up here in an old garage space that is not very lovely, but it is useful. And so I spent some time out here and it gets pretty hot. So I put this up a little higher. You can adjust the angle of the fan, and it does oscillate, which means goes from side to side. So let's turn this on, and you can see the fan comes on, and it's pretty quiet, other than hearing some like wind velocity type noises. Definitely kicks out some decent wind, and that is on the highest speed. So we can hit this again to go back to the lowest, which still is pretty decent. When I first turned this on, I thought the lowest speed was the highest. So it definitely has some power. You can see it oscillating when we hit this OSC, which stands for oscillate. If I want to turn that off, I just hit that again and that locks the fan in place. To take this on and off of the wall, you would just lift the unit, of course, when it's off. And then there's a bracket that it sits on. It's pretty simple installation. I will say the assembly again. I would watch the video. There's a couple parts that are included to keep the fan parts together, but aren't a part of the assembly. I saw a couple reviews that made me wonder if folks didn't know what to do with those parts. But this is plugged into a wall. Again, this is not a beautiful space that I'm in, but it's for work. So it plugs into a wall, so I hung this a little higher within reach, and when I don't need this, I can unplug it and just wrap the cord up there. And let's go through one more time. Some oscillating. Let's kick that speed up one more time. Nice breeze, guys. Definitely will make it easier to clean out the garage or wherever you'd like to put it. It's nice enough looking, and it comes in different colors, so you could certainly use this inside a nicer space, especially if you don't have a lot of floor space. So far, I recommend this, guys. Check it out if you're feeling a little too hot. This will keep you cool.
it has a daytime and a nighttime setting, and it pulsates at night. This changes the setting. This is your rotator. This you can set a timer for how long you want it to run. This is the rotator, and it has a good fan push of air. So you can do touch screen, or you can do the touch, or it comes with the remote, which I've already done. Wow. Turn that off. I don't know why it says Wi-Fi. I don't know how to do that.
Speed 1. Speed 2. Speed 3.